everybody, and welcome back to Mr. Smith's YouTube channel. So over the last few videos, we've been talking about the Java basics, including operators, print statements, etc. And then in the last video, I talked about scanners and how to use those to take user input from the keyboard. So we're going to keep progressing with our Java knowledge, and today we're going to move into what's called relational operators and condition statements. All right, so in life, we run into conditions all the time. You wake up in the morning, you decide what to wear, right? So if I wear a blue shirt, then I will wear, maybe navy pants. Else, I wear black pants, something like that, right? It's just a condition in life that has multiple branches that you could take. If you think about school, you think about your grade, right? So if I have a 95, it's an A. Else, it could be a B, C, D, or F. All right. If you have a 65, it's going to be an F. All right. So depending on your grade is which branch of a condition you go in. All right. And I'm going to show you what that looks like in Java. So we are going to move into our notes. All right. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is relational operators. So relational operators are used to compare values. So you are probably familiar from math class with greater than and less than, right? You check, is 5 less than 10? All right, well, 5 is less than 10, so that relational operator returns true. So relational operators return true or false. So if you're going to store them in a variable, you need to store them in a Boolean. All right, so we have some other relational operators that you may have never seen before. So greater than you've probably seen, less than you've probably seen, less than or equal to, or greater than or equal to, or less than or equal to. You're probably familiar with those with math, but you probably have not seen them written like this, all right, with the less than and then equal to sign. Not, the exclamation point means not, so it flips the value. So not equals. Then you have equals equals, which you can use to compare two things. Dot equals is comparing two strings, and then the not flips. All right, so just in the notes, there are some examples here. So my character, is it equal to C? True if my character is C, false if it's not C. All right, so these are how we check conditions. We use relational operators to check conditions. All right, remember that one single equal sign is an assignment operator, so you're storing a value. If you use two equals, then it's checking the relationship. All right, and I can give you a quick example of that. So for example, if I say my car is equal to a Toyota Corolla. All right, so what I'm actually doing there is I am storing the string Toyota Corolla into the variable my car. All right, maybe I call it a string. All right, so a singular equals stores a value into a variable. Now, if I were to say my car is dot equals Toyota Corolla, well, now I'm checking to see if my car is equal to Toyota. So I'm seeing if they have the same value. All right, that's how you would handle a string. Let's say if we had a double GPA is equal to a 4.0. All right, if I say GPA equals 4.0, in this scenario, I'm checking to see if GPA is 4.0, and if it is, it's true. All right, so with strings, we use dot equals, and with anything else like double, int, float, long, short, byte, we're going to use equals equals to compare them. All right, even chars, booleans, equals equals. String is the only one that you have to use a method because it's technically a reference type, so it's like an object. All right. So that's just a little bit. I do urge you to go through the notes. There are some examples, and then there's also comprehension questions if you want to work through these and try them yourselves. So probably what you're thinking is, well, Smitty, why do we use relational operators? So we use relational operators so that we can do what's called condition statements, and I'm going to show you an example of that now. All right, so I'm going to start a new project. Make sure you have Java and Java selected. All right, and then I'm just going to call this YouTube conditions. All right, because I'm going to teach you about condition statements in my YouTube video. All right, so I'm going to click finish. Make sure you have main method checked because we want to auto-generate all this code since we're doing an application. All right, I'm going to delete all of the extra comments. All right, so what we are doing here, just up here, I'm going to use a comment, demonstration of how conditions, which are if-else statements, are used in Java. All right, so I'm going to show you how if-else statements are used to identify abstractly or represent abstractly real-world conditions. All right, so we're just going to start with a very easy one, kind of the example I talked at the beginning of this video, because you guys are in school and you know exactly what your grade is. All right, so let's say double grade is equal to, we're going to go with a 78.6. All right, so let's say you have this grade and you are, maybe you're in elementary school and you've moved up into middle school and now there's letter grades. All right, we remember back in the day, like you just got outstanding, satisfactory, needs improvement. All right, now you're moving up into middle school and you don't quite understand how you get a letter for your grade. So we want to write a program to test that. So we're going to write our first condition. All right, so first condition is letter A. All right, if you get an A grade. So if, all right, so I got to think to myself, what is an A? Well, an A is greater than a 90, right? Well, it's greater than and equal to a 90, because a 90 is an A. So I literally just type that. If grade is greater than or equal to a 90.0. Okay, that's my first condition. So when this occurs, when my grade is greater than or equal to a 90, 1 second, someone's at my door. Hey, Simi, making a video. Good morning. I'm making a video. If grade is greater than or equal to a 90, then you're good. Come on in and sit down. Then I would print an A, right? So system.out.println A. So you have your condition, and then you actually have to put the action that occurs when that condition is true. So if grade is greater than or equal to 90, if this evaluates, remember relational operates evaluate to true or false. If this evaluates to true, we're going to print out A. Okay? This evaluates to true, we're going to print out A. All right, so now we need our second condition, which is letter B, right? So I got to think to myself. Well, first off, the way the structure of this works is you always start with an if and you end with an else. All right, you start with an if, end with an else. If you have more than two conditions, else if, etc., right? So in our example here, this is going to be an A, then we'll have else if B, else if C, else if D, and then our else will just be the F. All right, it'll be everything else. So for the B here, all right, I'm going to leave that like that. Well, I got to scroll down. So for the B, we're going to say else if, and now we need that condition. Ooh, bless me. All right, we need that condition. So when is a grade a B? Well, grade is a B when it is greater than or equal to an 80.0 and, all right, so the way that we say and, when you have more than one relational operator expressions that you need to evaluate. So we need to do greater than 80 and less than 90. We use ampersand, ampersand. So if grade is greater than or equal to 80 and grade is less than 90, we don't want to make it equal to 90 because we've already said that's an A. All right, less than 90. Then we're going to print out a B. All right. So now we need another else if. So else if grade is greater than or equal to, I do believe a C is a 75, and grade is less than an 80. All right, and I'm just continuing on. All right, I'm just changing my conditions as I need them. All right, and then else if we need to do our D, right? All right, so if grade is greater than or equal to a 70.0 and grade is less than a 75.0, then we're going to print out D. Then else. So up here I talked about how you do if, else if, else if, else if, and else. All right, so your very last condition in the conditional statement branch, your very last one is always else. So we have our A, our B, our C, our D. If it's none of those, then everything else is an F. So we actually do not have to put the condition because else includes everything else. All right, we've taken care of A, taken care of B, C, D. So everything else is an F. All right, so at this point, we're done with our first conditional statement. So if I click the run button here, all right, I have a 78.6 and it gives me a C. Is that correct? Is a 78.6 a C? It is. All right. Well, let me test this. Let me change the grade. So let's try 95.5. I get an A. Let's try one of our boundaries. Let's try 80.0. Ooh, a B. All right, let's say I've had a rough week. 55.16. F. So the value or the letter grade is actually changing dependent upon this grade. So depending on the condition, conditional statements, all right, is the letter you get. All right, and this is how if-else statements work. So we are going to be starting with a lab. The lab looks like this. So there are 10 just, started out very easy condition statements. And then they get a little harder in the middle. And then there's 2 challenge problems kind of here at the end. All right, so we're going to be working on this in class. So if you're in class, you will probably be doing pretty well. I will do my best to post a video walking through some of these for those of y'all that haven't made it to class. Notice that it does say prompt for a number. So whenever it says prompt for a number, you're going to use a scanner. So go back and check out my last video to refresh your memory on scanners. But other than that, guys, as always, feel free to subscribe, like, comment, and let me know if you have any feedback, and I'll see you next time.